Her Nightmare stacks discard triggered 400% attack bonus damage on a broken enemy. That's not a bug, that's Lacrimosa working exactly as she intended, and most people building her are leaving half of that damage on the table. I'm Valian and this is Blueprint Wednesday. Today we're breaking down the full Lacrimosa build, arc, cartridges, stats, theme, and the rotation that actually makes her work. Now let's start. So before we get into the build, we need to understand what Lacrimosa is, because his design is really different from any other DPS in NTE right now. He's an S-rank Chaos main DPS, a liquid arc, a member of the ATD4 over at the Bureau of Anomaly Control, and on paper she looks like a very simple DOT carry, but she actually gets one of the most flexible kits in the game. She fights in two modes, Tomato Metal, which is her melee frying pan stance, and Tomato Percussion, her ranged red jelly stance. You switch between them using the aim button. Both deal chaos damage, both stack Nightmare on enemies, and neither one is clearly better. So don't stress about which one to use, just play your positioning. Now the core mechanic you must care about is Nightmare. Every hit applies a Nightmare stack, up to 10 stacks at a time. Now each stack deals chaos DOT every second, and when you hit the 5th attack in either stance, every accumulated Nightmare stacks fires at once. That's your burst window. On top of that, she has a unique mechanic. Hold aim on an enemy to copy their combat technique and use it yourself. It's really cool, it's a flex, and in some boss fights it can add meaningful damage. But a quick heads up, if you have her A3 passive, using this gimmick actually breaks the passive. Alright, now that we know how she works, let's build her properly. Let's start with the weapon, the arc system. For Lacrimosa, this is a very clear answer. The last rose, which is the best in slot, it's not even close. Here's why this works so well. Every time she deals DOT damage, it builds a Chaos Thorn. Up to 10 stacks, each giving plus 12% crit damage. At full stacks, that's plus 120% of crit damage in total. But the real power is the moment you cast a redirect skill, it instantly maxes all 10 stacks. So you hit the ability, you're immediately at peak crit damage. No ramp up window. Now Lacrimosa constantly deals DOT damage through Nightmare, and those stacks refresh automatically. This weapon plays itself. It also extends the break states on enemies by 3 seconds when you deal damage during a break, giving you a larger window to proc Tomato Banquet. Now if you didn't pull the last rose, here are your options. Bluff, off, Fearlessness. That will be your second best S-rank choice. A strong crit damage substack. Another alternative would be Youthful Fantasy. It boosts chaos damage, especially in break focus setup. It's slower than the last rose, but it absolutely works while you save for the signature. Now Cartridge, this is even clearer than the arcs. Diablos is the best in slot in every single scenario. Well, because of the chaos res ignore. When you trigger the Esper cycle, you're ignoring up to 24% of the enemy's chaos resistance. Resistance ignore is multiplicative. It doesn't add to your existing damage, it multiplies it. That's why it's even more worth than flat chaos damage or crit bonus. On top of that, Diablo's console bonus gives Lacrimosa a 10% chaos damage for every type 3 model equipped. With 4 type 3 models active, that's an extra 40% chaos damage. Now for the main stat, always go with chaos damage bonus. Your Nightmare DOT has a fixed 50% crit rate built in, so stacking crit rate on your cartridge give you diminishing returns compared to just pumping more chaos damage. Now speaking of modules, Lacrimosa wants to run the 4-piece Diablos layout with both type 3 module slots filled. That activates full 4-piece set bonus and maximizes the console chaos damage buff we just talked about. For the main stat, I would go with chaos damage bonus. For the modules, you're stacking crit rate and crit damage based on what your substats look like.
What's that?
The rule is stay close to a 1:2 ratio between crit rate and crit damage. If you're running the last rose, which already gives you crit rate, you might lean into crit damage on your module as a main stat. And for the priority, crit rate, crit damage, damage percent, attack percent. And now this is the best part, the teams. Lacrimosa's team logic all follows one thing. She needs Discord, and Discord comes from triggering Scorch and Nova at the same enemy. Scorch needs Incantation and Chaos. Nova needs Psyche and Chaos. She is the Chaos. So you build the team around feeding her rotations. And the best team in my opinion would be Lacrimosa, Sakari, Fadia, and then Daffodil. Sakari is your incantation support. She buffs DOT damage by 25% per DOT on the enemy. And now Fadia is your S-rank Psyche pick. She's a very quick swap unit, meaning she takes almost no time in the field, which is crucial because Lacrimosa needs to be on the field to maintain her Nightmare stack duration. Well, what about Daffodil? She handles break and brings a second chaos unit to speed up Discord triggers. She also let Lacrimosa proc to Mito Banquet more reliably. And for the budget/F2P team, Lacrimosa, Adler, Haniel, and Baikong. Adler is a very strong incantation support for Scorch. Haniel provides Psyche buffs and help trigger Nova. Baikong has a special combo with Lacrimosa where swapping to him adds an extra skill to her rotation, a really good DPS upscale. Oh, almost forgot, Haniel also applies Nova, which helps hit Discord without needing an S-rank type Psyche. One more thing about the teams, Lacrimosa has an A6 passive called Morning Spell. Once unlocked, she auto-casts her support skill whether anyone on the team triggers Nova, Scorch, or Discord within 5 seconds on casting Devilish Gift. That creates a near automatic reaction loop at endgame. It's very strong, but it's endgame unlocked, so don't build around it early. Now, the goal for Lacrimosa is learning the rotation, which would be buff, then apply Scorch, put Lacrimosa on the team, build Nightmare, trigger Nova, Discord, Tomato Banquet, fires on the broken enemy, and that's pretty much it. Okay, now, should you pull for Lacrimosa? You want the best Chaos DPS in the game right now? Yes. She's the highest single target ceiling in 1.1, especially on boss content. But one thing you should take from this, Lacrimosa is very complex. Her Nightmare timer is very tight. Her rotation requires a bit of thought. She's not just spam the buttons and you'll win unit. She rewards investment. If you have very strong incantation and psyche supports, especially Sakri and Fadia, she becomes dramatically easier to play and dramatically stronger. Now, would I say pull her? I would say yes if you already have Sakri and Fadia. Yep, if you're FTP with no support infrastructure yet and prefer a simpler carry. That was it for me for the Lacrimosa blueprint. If this helped, drop a like. It actually makes a difference for the channel. The full NTE playlist is linked down below, and I'll be back tomorrow with some very nice hot takes. My name was Valiant, and I'll see you guys next time.